We were back on buses, and we were making our way slowly up north along the Carretera Austral, Chile's famous Route Number 7 that runs almost 1,300 kilometers through lush pine forests and huge lakes. Very strange looking beach, but that is the first time I've seen the sea on this side of the continent, which is kind of cool. I think that's a volcano over there, and that's another volcano over there. In 2008, Volcan Chaiten had exploded violently, throwing debris 3,000 meters up into the air. And we were now standing on a beach still covered in trees and debris from the surrounding area that slid down from the resulting landslides. That's scary shit. As a weird mist rolls in to cover the town. We're not really sure where it's coming from yet. After all that volcano research, it's fair to say that I was a little nervous. So our theory now is big old forest fire. Probably the wind's blowing it down this way.
There is smoke. I can smell smoke for sure.
This guy's still washing his car, so it can't be anything too serious.
Maybe he's bracing himself.
He's preparing.
Yeah.
End of days. Maybe the last day in Chile, both of us. Mornings with Freddy, drinking mate, trying to figure out what to do with pita bread when we don't have anything except hot sauce. Don't we have jam? Don't we have jam or something? I thought we had like quince. That's right. What we call quince paste is membrillo over there. It's cheap and delicious.
I think it was quince.
This is a bad example. The route is very popular at that time of the year, so backpackers bottlenecking up in these small towns makes it very hard to hitch rides. Hitchhiking, trying to get to Frontier, which is that way. Still out here waiting for a ride, been about 2.5 hours. Just normal house, smashed house. It was getting late, and there was barely anyone around, so we decided to find a spot off the road to set up the tents and give up for the day. Almost. Holy shit.
Getting somewhere.
Getting somewhere? It's about 8:30 a.m. Caught the earliest hitch we've ever caught, that being a bus that was empty, heading towards Futaleufú, where we are right now. And when you know it, back to Argentinian border again. The Swede buttering up for another day in the sun.
I am. I think it's going to be another massive one since someone didn't want to pay for transport.
Well, money bags over here was just like basically flicking cash.
$10 to not spend another fucking day.
I can
getting
edit, I can
eaten
just
up
edit
alive
this out.
by the sun.
Well,
on this road, maybe you want to show them the road.
caught a lift from the frontier, which looked like it wasn't going to happen for a long time. It was a couple with a tiny little shitbox of a car that gave us a lift. So as always, those with little seem to give a lot.
Yeah, but they weren't little. They were fat.
Well,
Just saying. Nothing against fat people.
we retired from our trekking adventures, and we were now looking for a few days in a more laid-back atmosphere. And we found it in the small, hippie town of El Bolson. La Casona de Odile, hostel out in the forest, bought in the 70s by a French painter, and eventually turned into a hostel. Been swimming in the river, hanging out here in the greenhouse in the sun. There's a pub next door that they own, brew their own beer. I've been sitting in a hammock for the last 3 hours reading. It's good to be in the sun again after being in cold mountains. They were the last few days that we would spend traveling together. I wanted to continue up north, and Freddie had decided to stay in El Bolson. We talked a lot about travel and the luck of bumping into people along the way.
So you find a lot of those people, way more people than you would if you were just stuck in a small town somewhere for like ever. And a lot of those relationships just kind of blow over, but a lot of them stick as well. You try to get to know people, get to know the places, and get to know the mindset and the culture, whatever. That's a very different story. Parts of my brain just gets blocked out if I'm in a place for too long. It's something that I already know or something I've done before. And then you head off again and it all just kind of opens up a bit.
There's definitely days where it feels like you learn something. You just have a really good day and you feel
something that might not have been in place if you weren't there. Like
we've left a little, giving each other both good story or something.
Yeah, just keep going, keep evolving.
Yeah. So ends El Bolson. Let's say goodbye to Freddie. Didn't get any footage of it, but that's how it goes sometimes. And then it's back on the road on my own. And now for Bariloche. Now I'm in a hostel. Feels a bit like being in a boat, but you got a nice little view of the lake up there, which is great. Don't know who I'm sharing with yet. Quite intimate. Cabin, close quarters. You better be handsome. Around here used to be sharks about 40 meters. That's some of their teeth. So Bariloche as a town is pretty interesting. It seems to have a mix of the massive tourist part on the lake over that way, and then obviously places like this. Up to Cerro Campanario. be the last place in Patagonia. It has been quite a ride. Hiking, starting off in Huemul, like probably the highlight, and doing Cerro Castillo, the Carretera Austral in Chile, and then I'll be flying out of here, up into the north, up until Salta. But this has been more than I could have ever dreamed that it would be. Just rocked up in Salta, can already feel the 32-degree heat, so I already have the feeling that I'm going to have to throw away a lot of clothes and change a lot of clothes. Up in San Bernardo, Cerro San Bernardo as it is. Nice viewpoint over the city, very flat and a lot bigger than I think I expected. Super hot, everything's made out of concrete, but I'm looking forward to the animals.
I could suddenly hear drums somewhere in the city. I followed the sound into a large crowd. This was the start of Carnival here in Argentina. In Salta, they start with several indigenous ceremonies that pay tribute to Mother Nature, known here as Pachamama. I also noticed this little guy appearing. Idols of the devil symbolize the liberation of repressed desires and getting drunk with abandon. I was pretty interested. And there is no way you are avoiding getting covered in flour. Pure party mode. Pretty hard not to get swept up in it. I was about to see a whole lot more of this part of Argentina. But let's just back up a little bit. Remember the German girls that I've met back in Chile? Well, one of them was here, and we decided to do a little road trip.
Look who it is, it's Tina. Hi Tina. Hey. This is us packing up before getting a car to drive to...
To where? We don't know.
We don't know yet.
There was no solid plan. We hired a car for 6 days, bought a map, and just started driving around.
question is,
Go on.
is it for flowers or is it for drink?
Probably for margarita.
The indigenous Diaguita people believe this place to be a door to the underworld. So we rang the doorbell.
Yell something up into it.
Yell something.
Yeah.
Something bad.
Yeah. And do it in German. And
Verfluchte Hurenfick-Scheiße!
what is that?
Pachamama.
Mountainous, red rock everywhere. We took turns driving, and to give us a little stamina, we found a local, legal secret. Coca leaves.
Apparently what you're supposed to do is you get a lump like this, and they said that you just put it in the back of your mouth.
Sounds so crispy.
Big old bun. Put it in the side of your gum. No, no, I don't think you're supposed to chew it. You're supposed to put it in the back of your gum and let it sit there. This is camp spot for tonight, being serenaded by the lovely sounds of family over there. And backup percussion is Tina on sticks and...
Argentina's barbecue is called asado. It's serious. Hot coals slow cook the meat as it sits on the metal lattice known as the parrilla. Our version was a little bit more basic.
That is, what does it look like? It looks like a whole animal rather than an actual slice of meat. Like a small otter or something that we put on the... It's actually a cut of meat.
Yeah,
but it
we
looks
saw
like
him
like a
chopping it off.
It was actually really delicious.
We're not taking him.
No, we put him on the parrilla.
The Quilmes were a Diaguita tribe that lived here in the largest pre-Columbian settlement in the country. They fought off both Incan and Spanish invasions for over 100 years before finally being defeated in the 17th century.
Want my drink? How do we look?
Thought we'd pick up a hitchhiker because we've been hitching for the last 3 months, and so you can return the favor.
Det heter Mattrack.
pretty hard getting back down.
Whoa! After making a little slide down from there, I've just discovered creepily a large collection of hats. Where are the bodies? And she's driving with one hand, pulling out lip balm with the other hand, and driving in bare feet as well.
So we'd rented a car, as it's pretty necessary to get around that part of Argentina, but we put that poor thing through a lot.
This is our vehicle. Introducing Chevrolet Classic. As you can see, it's in perfect condition. Just trying to figure out whether this was missing before or not. Yeah. Good job!
It makes really strange sound.
No idea what this is. Chocolate
It's just touched.
or rust or poo-poo. Comes with all the bonus features like mirrors. Introduces some of the features in the interior. CD player with actual CDs that no one has anymore. Air conditioning all the way up to a powerful number 4, personal favourite. Fire extinguisher. Instructions as to what and where not to put your baby because they will be catapulted back into the seat. Oh, listen to that baby purr. Oh yeah.
Hola.
Out here along the Route 40. Some tunes, some wine. Look at it, it's so big. That's what 200 pesos will get you. (3,452 meters of elevation right amongst the clouds. Had to stop the car to go and film this monster. It is super bright. Hurts to take your sunglasses off because all the sun's getting reflected. I have no idea how big it is. Everyone looks like they're floating far away enough. Most of it is really hard and sharp. Then you get these little squishy. It's like walking through some sort of dessert. massive a storm a brewing. Tina will play some more hits from the German classics.
No, it's the German national hymn.
Do it.
Actually, I don't know why.
The tiny town of Purmamarca is home to 2,000 people, but at the time it was tourist season. It feels as if it's part of the mountains that surround it, like the set of an old Star Wars film. Remember that drinking with abandon vibe? That was in full swing here. Surrounded by drunk devils, we got stuck into the cheap wine.
Last campsite of... Oh God. That would have been a really good costume last night for Carnival. This is one of the strategies to dry the wet tent. So we're going to pack up and back in Salta. And then Tina is going to fly to Buenos Aires. She's looking for excuses not to go back to Germany. Your parents will be very pissed off. Now you look like Liberace.
6 days in the north had finished, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to do that with. But now with Tina finished with her travels, as well as other people I'd met along the way, I suddenly was like, how much money have I got left? In fact, there was very little money left at all. Back in Salta, I was sitting in a cafe and taking stock of the last 5 months that were now all behind me. I'd got to know 4 countries in total, and I'd seen everything from sprawling cities to exotic islands, tiny towns, epic mountains, immaculate beaches, and vast desert plains. And not to mention the sort of characters I met along the way. I'd just been going with the flow for so long, just kind of following my instinct, and now there was an abrupt fork in the road. I could push on with the tiny amount of money I had. I could return to England. I could go back to Australia, or I could try and look for work here in Argentina. And after much debate and advice from friends, I tried the latter and managed to get an interview for a job in Buenos Aires, so I hopped on a coach and I went back there. I would be staying in that city for the foreseeable. That was a Thursday, and I would start on a Monday. I still had a little bit of cash left over, so I decided one more little weekend to close off the adventure. I would finish where it all began. I took a flight to Sao Paulo the next day. Back here, back where it all started. Well, not literally where it all started, because this is Andre's new apartment. A sec, I just want to film this. Look at this. Back here in Sao Paulo, shirt off, he's cooking tapioca again. In the edit, I can cut back to...
Caraguatatuba.
guy ate my toothbrush. Now I'm going to return to Buenos Aires. I have a flight in a few hours. It's been 5.5 months now. It's a very reflective time. I'm filming, but oh, good.
I'm Argentina.
Oh, I spoke really fast then.
We is not finish, no, finish.
Not the objective.
Come on, it was a nice little play.
This is pretty. Okay, I will get out.
No, that's why it's fucking nice frame. Which is very long. I just sort of playing play. Sorry, I distracted you. That's my fault.
I think we're done about 2 Ks maybe.
Damn.
What is it? You wanna take it?
Just
I can't say that.
Prick.
What?
last off the plane, as per, and it's back in Buenos Aires. The last one I will be taking for a while. Until next time.
Chao, buenas noches.
Yep.